I had a blast today, everyone. So, I have a list of highlights of things that I want to talk about. And it was a fantastic day. I guess first of all, painting's awesome. It's very therapeutic. It is a good way to practice being in the moment and being mindful. And so I had this big canvas and I painted it, and I made a sign of a black upside down Canadian flag with an oil drop from the maple leaf, and one side said that, lest we forget, Canadians are ignorant, apathetic cowards. Oh, nope, sorry. Lest we forget, Canadians are ignorant, apathetic, lazy, cowardly, debt wage tax slaves that lie to themselves about being free. Something to that effect. And the other side said, being a soul dyer is nothing to be proud of. And I wanted it to have my version of the Canadian anthem, but unfortunately I wasn't able to fucking fit all of that on there, so it was a fucking pain in the ass. But painting was fun. But after I finished painting and it was like, hey, now I gotta go into fucking public with this fucking sign that I made and piss off fucking hundreds of people. Oh man, I still have adrenaline just fucking, I could feel it. Like my legs feel all jittery, fucking fight or flight response, just, it's just, but it doesn't matter how you feel, Cameron, you just gotta do the great work anyways. And so, it's going out into public with a sign like that. I've been bear maced before, and I did this 2 years ago, a little less prepared, but I know how fucking pissed off people get. And so there's something called Agent Smith programming, where you have the show, the movie, the series, The Matrix, and you have the antagonist, Agent Smith, I guess one of the antagonists. But the Agent Smith program in The Matrix is a protective system that can pop up anywhere in the Matrix. You can be talking to your friend walking down the street, and then a woman in a red dress walks by, and then you look at her, and then you turn around, and then all of a sudden you got a fucking agent with a gun to your head. And this is a metaphor for how people will defend the system unconsciously. And so it's like when it was COVID, when it was during the pandemic, I never went outside and wore a mask because I was afraid of COVID. I knew that if I was to go out in public where there was a mask mandate and it was expected by the corporation that I was entering, that a person can turn into an Agent Smith, call some fucking goons with guns, and have me harmed because I'm not following the dictates of the system. And so it's just like, I don't know if I go out, I don't know if I'm gonna get sick. Who knows? Who knows what happens when you leave the house? But if you don't obey the dictates of the state, you will be punished violently. And so, this is where the end goal of evil is not continual violence. It takes too much manpower and too much effort to have to pay people to fucking whip and beat people. It is, if you can have people behave properly how you want them to, you don't have to spend all of this money having people have to force them how to live. And it's just, it clears up a bunch of human resources when you can get the slaves to do as you want them to, by themselves, without having to be told. And so the end goal of evil isn't continual violence, it's obedience. And that is exactly what you see today, is a bunch of obedient slaves, where it's like it does not matter if you are outraged. What they care about is that you're obedient and that tomorrow you're going back to work. You got the day off, slaves, you get to remember you're dead. Now you get to go back and work for the banks, you bitches. So I go to the legislature, I'm having my sign, and I'm not really saying anything to anyone. Is that I get some dirty looks, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And so eventually a bunch of people get fucking pissed off at me, and they're like, 3,000 people, native people went to war for this country. And I'm like, yeah, because they were fucking brainwashed by residential schools to fucking worship this nation, because if they didn't, they were gonna fucking die. And everybody they ignored me. And so it's just like I have a big sign saying Canadians are ignorant. Everybody's ignoring me. Everybody's apathetic and don't care that what I have to say. And they're too lazy to actually figure out what I'm saying, and they're too cowardly. Like, the way that people looked at me, the kids were like, what is this guy fucking, what's this guy about? What's this big sign about? What's he about, mommy? What's he about, daddy? And the parents were like, and fucking talking shit about me, obviously. And I would end up being like, hey, what's your favorite part about having to abandon your kids to go work for $1? And everybody just ignored that. And then there were people who were like, time and place. This isn't the time and place. And I'm like, you guys are ignorant, where you guys don't fucking pay attention to what the fuck's going on. You guys are apathetic and you don't fucking care what's going on. You guys are fucking lazy and you don't care about doing the work to fucking figure it out. And you're fucking cowards who are too afraid to actually do the work because it's scary. And when is there gonna be a time, when is there gonna be a place when you guys don't fucking give a fuck? Right? And so that ended up getting me kicked out. And so as I'm leaving, there's also kids leaving and shit like that with their families. And there's some kids, and I'm like, hey, wouldn't you prefer if your parents were able to raise you by themselves and not have to send you to school for somebody else to do it for them? And the kids were like, yeah. And the parents were like, don't listen to him, ignore him. And it's like, fucking listen to the kids. We live in a world that does not work for human beings, that kids do not want to grow up and exist in this world. People don't want to have kids, they don't want to create families, and this world that we live in does not work for people. It works for businesses, it works for the banks. Fucking sound like Terrence McKenna here, fuck. But where am I here now? 5, 6. And so I end up fucking having to leave because the sheriff comes and says I have to leave, right? And so I'm like, you know what, okay, I'm done. It's like, I made my stink, whatever. And the reality is like, don't have a fucking free speech. I fucking wasn't doing anything wrong. I was as calm as I could be. I showed some passion, like I've shown in this video, but I wasn't fucking belligerent. I fucking wasn't calling anyone down. People were fucking saying I was dickless and all of this shit. Like, the things that people were saying to me is that people wanted to hurt me, and I was just standing there with my fucking sign. And so it's just like, when you have a bunch of fucking armed goons that can stop someone who can't even have a conversation with someone because people are so upset with just words in a symbol, like, just, it's embarrassing, really. But I end up going home and have a little break, fucking deal with my fucking adrenaline rush and get a little bit of a snack. And so I fucking and decide to go out again. And I walking up the hill, and the girl that I'm interested in right now, she drives by me and she rolls down the window and she's like, "Hi, Cam." And it's just like she sees me with this fucking black Canadian flag and still fucking drives by, lets me know that she's there to pay attention to her. And that's awesome. That makes me happy. But I continue to walk by, and there's a woman talking to a man, and she's like, "Oh, what's your sign say?" And she reads it, and she's like, "Well, that's fucking offensive. I'm a vet." And I'm like, "Well, that's unfortunate. You sold your soul." And she just fucking just gives me a pop quiz about everything. I'm like, "You're not free? What's freedom? Who's the colonizer?" Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Here's my answer, here's my answer, here's my answer." And I fucking answered everything. It's great. I have an answer for everything. Everything. And guess what? Not all of them are fucking right? But, oh, so that's the other thing too, is that, so I'm fucking at the grounds, and I have my sign. I'm like, if anyone can prove me wrong, feel free to fucking let me know. And hundreds of people, no one fucking does shit. What does that fucking say about everyone? It's embarrassing. And so this woman runs away from me, basically. She's done her cigarette and she decided to go inside, and which is okay because it's fucking chilly out, right? But she fucking has all of these questions for me, like she actually cares, but she's really just sea lioning, and it doesn't matter because I fucking have answers. And she's like, "Well, fuck, this all fucking makes sense because everything I fucking say makes sense if you decide to actually listen to me. If you want to ask the questions, I got fucking answers after answers that will explain everything. Fuck." But I take my sign and I go downtown. I go to City Center. I go to City Hall, and there's the big war memorial, and I put my sign there because I just fucking wanted to get rid of it. That sign brought me so much fucking anxiety, but it did its job. But I put my sign there, and an old black man comes up to me, and he asked me what my sign said, and I told him, and he was like, "Yeah." And so, but as he was walking, as he's walking away, what I was saying to him is that people have to care more about the truth as opposed to their beliefs and just what they want to think is true because it makes them feel good about themselves. People need to care more about what is actually true, even if it hurts their feelings. And that's one side of the page done. What else happened? So I'm heading to go get pizza because I'm gonna buy some pizza for homeless people. I'm just gonna fucking feed some homeless people some pizza because pizza's awesome when there's a bunch of hungry people. And I'm walking through the mall, and I get through one side of the mall, and there's a female South Asian security guard, just this little girl. It's just like, how do you make anybody feel secure? But she's just fucking minding her own business. She's just fucking doing her job, standing there. And I'm like, "Excuse me, ma'am." I was like, if I was to ask, it was like, you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how free do you feel in Canada? How free do you feel? And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "That's a good question." And she was just like, "I don't want to fucking answer that because it does not say good things about this country." But as she didn't say that, it was just obvious she was like, "Oh fuck, what a question. I was not expecting that." And I was walking away, and I was like, you should think about it, and you should think about your role and why we aren't free. And so I end up going to go get pizza. Ugh. And Mondo's is great, and I got one slice, but that is okay. It's just, there was people. I was walking by a Tim Hortons towards Mondo's, and this guy was like, "Do you have any change?" And I was like, "No, I don't have any change, but I'm about to go get pizza. I'll be back." And I give him a couple slice, and another woman comes, and it's just like everybody comes and gets a slice, and then I fucking turn around the corner, and fucking all that pizza's gone. And then I'm heading back towards City Center to see if my sign's still there. And then there's another group of people. There's some elderly people that were handicapped, and they're walkers and shit. And I was like, would any of you like some pizza? And there's all of these people that look like real raggedy. Like, these people are fucking homeless. And then this young black guy comes up, and he's like, "Ooh," and I'm like, "Do you really need it?" He's like, "Yeah, I really need it." And I'm like, he's like, "What is it?" I'm like, "It has pepperoni on it. It's not fucking halal. It's not. This fucking pizza is haram." And it's just like, I'm a prejudiced person, and personally, it's like, even if you are homeless, even if you are hungry, there's a bunch of old. Respect your elders and let the old people eat first, right? And I get it. Is that fucking when you're hungry and you're all fucking going in for that pizza for the food, it's self-preservation, right? But I just have principles. And he had principles too, because it had fucking a pork in it, so he wasn't gonna eat it. It's crazy how a human being could be like, I'm so religious and homeless that I'm still gonna starve because fucking my religious book says I can't eat pork. Like, fuck. And so I was walking back to the city center memorial, and there was this woman and there was this kid, probably about 7 or 8 years old, and they were crying. And I don't know what happened, but the kid was crying and was upset. And the woman's like, "Shut up." And I was like, "Hey kid, your feelings are valid." And the woman's like, "Yes, they are." And that was that. And that was fantastic. And so I get to City Center, to the City Hall, and I meet a guy named Justin. And Justin is a good fucking guy. He listened to me for quite a fucking while. It's like, this video's going on 18 minutes right now. You at least listen to me for fucking half an hour, 45 minutes. And I was just going. And there was a time where I have fucking brain farts. I forget shit. It was just like, I was like, oh fuck, I forget where I was going with that. And he was like, maybe it's a good time to take a pause and breathe. Like, yeah, maybe. And so Justin showed me the telephone building downtown, and it's crazy. It's like this device that I'm using right now to record this video. This is some like Jetson sci-fi tech right now. But once upon a time, you had to fucking go to a building if you wanted to make a phone call. That shit's crazy. And I was talking about how tents are modern day teepees, and you can't just set down a teepee wherever you want, where you should be able to set a teepee down wherever you want if we were actually free, but we're not free, so you can't just fucking set a teepee or a tent down wherever you want to, because the fucking government fucking owns everybody, thinks they own the land. And it's just like, I was thinking about this a while ago. It's just like, how do you solve the problem of homelessness when the problem of homelessness is solved by getting a fucking job? And if you solve the problem of homelessness, why would people get a job? And if people aren't getting a job, then they're fucking free. And you can't have people free, because how are you fucking supposed to control them and make money off them then? And that's that. But Justin eventually had to go. And so I say goodbye, Justin, and Justin says, "My name's Justin, what is your name? I want to know your name. Cameron, how do you spell that?" It's like Cameron. He's just like, "Thank you very much, Cameron." He's like, "I love you and appreciate you." And I was like, "I love you and appreciate you too. Thank you for that." And reciprocated the appreciation, because when you appreciate things, the value of your life grows, and you could be hated one moment by fucking hundreds of people, but you make that one real connection with someone. And who the fuck has a stranger tell them that they're loved and appreciated? Who? Me. And it actually happens quite a bit. And so I'm gonna finish this off with, I'm heading back home, and there is a police officer in the mall, and I decided to be like, hey officer, on a scale of 1 to 10, how free do you feel in Canada? And he's like, oh, I feel pretty free. And I was like, of course you do, you're a fucking bootlicker. I was like, how fucking free do you think the homeless people you oppress are on a daily basis feel? And he's just fucking, he's like, and it's ignorant, apathetic, lazy cowards. I could say what I want to, they're not gonna do shit. I've proved it time in and time out. When you have the stronger will, you get to dictate what the fuck the playing field is. And if you control your emotional state, you get to dictate where everything goes. But if you don't control your emotional state, if, let's say today when those sheriffs told me to leave and I decided to freak out, they have weapons and they can hurt me, and they're allowed to, and everybody will cheer. They fucking hate me. They're begging these fucking sheriffs to fucking hurt me because they're a bunch of fucking tyrants. It's a fucking mob. But when you have the strength of will to be able to control yourself, to control your emotions, and being like, hey, you know what? This is time and place, and that I'm not just gonna fucking go fucking on a kamikaze mission for no fucking reason. I don't want to be a martyr. What the fuck's the point of being a martyr in a world that doesn't give a fuck? Jesus fucking failed. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Your phone's about to die. Peace. Happy Remembrance Day, fucking colonizers.